Hello everyone and welcome to more gaming exploration. I've been following this game's development for a while and we have some more things to talk about. The business model, the current state of the game, future of the game, and of course my thoughts on games like this. Now this is part of the direction that the channel is going. We explore different games, establish some foundation, talk about what the game has to offer, what we can see or hypothesize about the future of the game, and of course create guides for the game if necessary. So there was a recent developer stream which further highlights some of the core aspects of this game. And from some of the latest discussion, you have the usual class selection, but you also have the ability to evolve and use any gear or weapons as you desire. So you have this class selection which are basically presets, and then you can evolve from there. You will start seeing some crafting elements and combat elements that are reminiscent of games like The Last of Us. Now, in terms of weapons and loadouts, you will be able to switch weapons and gear items from anywhere within the game. Now, this seems to be the common approach or the go-to or future approach for a lot of games now. Unless it is just something that is vault-based, then most games should have a way to change at least 90% of your loadouts while you are on a mission. Now for each weapon you have some stats such as speed, crits, and of course you have an overall stat to show where your character level is and of course how far you are in terms of your progression. And these are some of those things that I believe is supposed to gear towards the progression and crafting and of course the personalization of each player. There's also something that I find really interesting here, and that is the fact that there is a lore text attached to different gear and weapons. It makes certain things feel special or personal, and it also drives that desire to really dive in and learn more about the lore of any single game. Now, I know it is more of a cliche at this point. This feels a lot like a shooter that is heavily inspired by the Soulsborne games. And from what I am seeing here or what I've seen so far, the implementation is not really bad either. You have the crystal bonfires that serve as a checkpoint or saving spot. You have the dungeon crawler aspect of things, the dark and grimy vibe from it, and as confirmation from the developers, there is crafting of weapons and gear items, which is something that is also diverse. Now, from what I have seen so far, it is really promising. A couple of things that I believe need some work is going to be the walk and run animations and the transition between every instance of movement, which means we're looking at transition between standing still and running, standing still and walking, walking and running. All those things, I would like to see it a little bit smoother. The pace of the game also needs to increase a little bit. Right now it looks a little bit too slow and the screen shakes needs to have maybe a toggle option. It seems that the camera is tacked to the head of the characters. So every time the character moves, runs, does any action, the screen shakes a lot. This is something that could cause seizure for some people, and this is probably not going to be a problem for some people either. However, it will be a nice feature to have. Now, in terms of the business model of this game, the game is finalized to be a $39.99, which is basically a $40 game, and it will also be available on Steam. Now, this price point combined with everything else is what really puzzles me. Granted, this game will release later on this year, after all the big name games have released, but I don't know if it will have a constant solid player base to take full advantage of this co-op elements that the developers have been talking about. The second part of this game is its identity. It feels different from other games, it feels unique, but at the same time it also feels similar to a lot of games that we've seen before. Darksiders, of course, they are connected. You have Dark Souls, you have some elements of Borderlands, some elements of The Last of Us, Dragon Age. Basically, the game feels like a mesh of multiple ideas, genres, and inspiration from many games. There is a large library of games that inspired this one, and this is one of those things that some games encounter. It is nice, it is cool, it is interesting, but what is it? Why should I play this game when I already have this element or this type of things in other games that I already own? This will be a big question for the developers to answer in regards to consumer questions. And I also hope that this game doesn't end up in a situation like Secret World. If it needs to, they might just want to go free to play to bolster their player base and make sure that nobody quits, because I believe that is one of the major issues that Secret Worlds had when the game was still alive. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Know that this is not to tell you to get the game or not to get the game. This is only to share information about the game, share my thoughts about it, let you know what I think, and for you to make your own informed decision. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.